right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people, lovers of freedom all over the world. Wherever you're joining us from today, you're highly welcome to this wonderful YouTube platform. This is Expose News TV, your one and only conformable news channel that gives you all the back-to-back news, back-to-back information, all the issues trending and happening in Biafran territory. Do not forget them to continue to share our video. That is all we can ask at this critical time. As we continue to say happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year. Today is Monday and today is 23rd of December 2024. Now, before we go into the issue, I've actually dropped this video, for those of you that will say is an old video. I've dropped this video, on my other channel, and the major reason why I'm dropping this video once again is because this issue cannot be overemphasized. We must continue to clarify the zoo. We must continue to clarify those who are gullible in mind, the gullible ones, those who get deceived, by the propaganda of the zoo media. You must continue to try as much as possible, to listen to our videos, watch our videos and listen, to important information concerning the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá. The picture you're seeing there is the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá, and that picture was actually taken after his detention, during his detention rather, because he's still in detention. But one good news that I'm telling every Biafran today is, with the right information, forget about where the information was gotten, the Prime Minister will be released anytime soon. In fact, immediately after the court hearing, Biafrans will see the Prime Minister. That is one assurance I can actually assure every Biafran. But before we go further, I'm going to drop a video, two videos have been trending. One, the video that the zoo media came out with their propaganda that the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá is in the most deadly prison in the world, the most feared prison, and his asset has actually been seized. That is a lie, and this lie is a lie from the pit of hell. We know how they've been trying to use every form of propaganda to destroy the image of the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá and also to destroy the Biafran naturalization. Let me tell you, propaganda cannot work for, countries that understand the rule of law. The problem with the zoo is that they do not understand what law is all about. They don't understand human law, human rights, and also they do not keep to their laws. But for a country, as advanced as Finland, that understand what human rights is all about, the reality is that the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá Njoku is in safe hands. And it will show with due time. There is nothing like, a deadly prison in Finland. As a matter of fact, the prison we have in Finland are called correctional centers. And I'm going to drop some photos of the correctional centers in Finland so that you understand, the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá is in safe hands. So as the video is going, I'll be dropping pictures of the correctional centers in Finland, starting from the walls, the list of the correctional centers, so that you understand that the Prime Minister is in good hand. And then I can assure you that after the court hearing, good news will be coming for the Prime Minister. Let me drop the video and we'll go further into other issues today in Biafran land. Enjoy.
All right, gentlemen. Fighting terrorism demands the disruption of financial networks that fuel violence. In a significant move, the government of Finland has seized the assets of the factional leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Simon Èkpá, over allegations of inciting violence in southeast Nigeria. Reports also showed that Èkpá is being remanded in prison. It which is reputed to be one of the world's toughest prisons. Gentlemen, I mean, many thought nothing would happen to Simon Èkpá because he's a citizen, and that's what his fans are saying.
I'm so excited what is happening because Simon Èkpá is extremely responsible man.
This is more trouble for him.
Very responsible man. He sat down in his flat in Finland and he will be sending all manner of messages, creating all manners of problems. And then he deluded himself that he has formed a government in exile, and he kept doing things. And the reason for that was that he believed that, oh, I'm in Finland, there's nothing they can't touch me there. And it took a long time, but eventually we got there. Because what the state should have done is what we're doing now, to complain officially. Because there are enough evidences, because the guy usually do videos. He gives all instruction mostly through videos. So there are enough evidence to show that this guy is a terrorist. And he's doing a lot of things in the southeast. Even at the time, the officials of IPOB were saying that we are not with this guy. He's just on his own. And he went on this illusion that is the leader of so-called Biafra in exile. And he kept doing all manner of things. So now that the state has been able to convince, the Nigerian state has been able to convince the government of Finland and provided evidence, and he's now being tried for terrorism, that's the best news that we can get.
So this is more trouble for
Oh, trouble. He's on his way to jail. In fact, I pray that he should go to jail.
All right. Adeoye, you know, his fans have described this latest action by the Finnish government as I want to get the right words, transnational repression against him. They said Finnish government betrayed their trust. I don't know what that means.
Well, I don't think there was any prior alliance between the government of Finland and Apple, except that Simon Èkpá exploited the age-long history of Finland, which is one of the places where freedom of speech is guaranteed to his best. He exploited that freedom to his best advantage, but with consequences, because freedom of speech is not absolute. You know, there are limits all over the world. You know, to the extent that there are certain things you say that can be, you know, seen and really against the law of the land. So I think seizing his assets is a major step that will actually affect his morale, because without funding, there is no way Simon Èkpá will have been able to carry out, you know, the chain of activities, you know, maintain the chain of commands, you know, that are under him. So I think the Finnish government decided to, you know, to hold him, you know, in a very strategic area, by taking over his asset. And then I believe that this is not the end of the story, but I think it's a huge defeat for him and his group. You must also not forget that there are factions in IPOB. He only represents a faction. There are other two factions, you know. There are, you know, Kamno's group, and then one other group that is just a little bit. So I think that I also do not align with the strategy of Simon Èkpá. If you are talking about self-determination, to fight for the people's right to political autonomy, it's a right guaranteed by United Nations, an African charter. But those charters emphasize the process that must be peaceful means of agitation. But when you begin to set messages across the world, fighting almost every ethnic group in the country apart from your own, and attacking people, instigating violence, asking people to go to police stations and seize both those police stations, I think it is not a good strategy. Even the ANC never adopted that kind of strategy, you know, openly at least. But, you know, he has portrayed himself as somebody who will be seen as a very violent man. And I think probably his problem is lack of experience in terms of struggle. You know, if you want to be a good leader, you must read about other struggles all over the world, in Cuba, in South Africa, and the methods that they have adopted. You know, because Mandela was the head of the ANC group that were fighting, even had organized training, but they did it covertly. To the extent that they were not making open statements and all that. And if you are fighting for self-determination, did you think that you are not going to relate to other ethnic groups in Nigeria in future, even if you have the Biafra? Are you going to say that you are not going to relate with your neighbors? with the Kwere, Ijaw, with Yoruba people, but you try to demonize every other ethnic group, even those that may even have sympathy for you. So I think it's a very reckless person, tactless, and I think by now you must have seen the consequences that waging self-determination struggle needs a lot of wisdom. It's not just about, it's not. I hope so. But by seizing his asset, I know that this thing will really affect him,
But is there also a possibility that he manipulates his way out of prison? Because, I saw a report today where he allegedly told the Finnish government that he's just a content creator. And the issue of Prime Minister...
That's a joke, because...
It's not serious.
That has to do with forming a government, a Biafran government in exile. That's not what I said is that there are evidences, because he used to do videos. There are videos where he has asked people, it was one of those that said people should stay at home. There are videos that he has said if people violate that order, they should be disciplined. There are videos where he asks people to attack policemen in the southeast region. There are a lot of videos where he preached violence. So that's why I said it took a long time for the government to do the needful. What you just needed to do is that because what he was working on was that, I'm here, there's nothing they can do. This is abroad. Nobody can come and...
But if you say it took the federal government a long time to do the needful, do you think this is because the southeast governors have been quiet themselves?
Yes, because when he was doing that, because of the violence, a lot of the governors in the southeast cannot really come out openly, because anybody that does not go along with what they want, they visit you with violence. And there's no place that they've killed policemen like Southeast. They kill them regularly. He instructs people to inflict violence on people. And that's what I said, that's evidence, because there are videos that are there. Finland will not, when Kanu was in England, you understand, they didn't agree that we should come and take him. They didn't extradite him to Nigeria because they believe that as a citizen he has rights and all that. But in his own case, the federal government should now do what they should have done earlier, but by formally complaining to the Finnish government, showing evidences that this guy is a terrorist and is inciting violence in the southeast parts of Nigeria. It was on that basis that he was arrested. It was on that basis that his assets were seized. His assets were seized not because he declared the state of Biafra. You can declare anything that you want yourself, but his assets was seized because he was inciting violence in the southeast, and he has proven himself to be a terrorist. And normally, when you are a terrorist, part of the thing is that your asset will be because he was asking money from people. People used to contribute money to them. That is what he was using to do all those things. So his asset is perceived to be a proceed of crime. So he is detained in prison because they now see him as terrorist based on the fact that was adduced to and forwarded to the Finnish government. So what his defense is weak. He can say that, if I say that I formed Biafra, state of Biafra in exile, which he did, that I'm a content creator. I'm just trying to create content. Fine. But you cannot say that the videos that show you inciting violence in the southeast, instructing people to attack policemen and attack people that do not agree with you, that cannot be accepted. All right. That is terrorism.
All right, gentlemen, let's go on a break. We'll come back. Let's go on a break, and when we come back, we will continue this conversation. Stay with us, everyone. Welcome back to Journalist Hangout on Sunday. I've been hanging out with Adewale Adeoye and Mayor Akinpelu. Gentlemen, let's move on with this conversation. One of the questions I asked earlier, the last time we talked about Simon Èkpá, is whether or not this arrest is capable of bringing peace to the southeast region. But in your observatory analysis, what you may have observed, has it?
I think the arrest will, to some extent, stem the growth of violence. But the issue is, because we need to be very honest with ourselves, there is a major issue, which is Biafra. I choose to call it the national question. This is not the first time we've had this agitation. In fact, we fought a civil war for 30 months. Masom was the first organization that reenacted this movement. And then, I think in 2010, we had Biafra's Zionist movement led by Benjamin Owuka. who a British Nigerian lawyer. In 2012, he declared Biafra on November 5. I can't forget. He declared Biafra. Then in 2014, I think March 7, he and about 100 people, they attacked the government house in Enugu. Then they also attacked broadcasting house. 100 of them were arrested. They were taken to court. Onwuka was detained. Later, they were released for want of evidence. It was after this group that APOP came. APOP organized rallies and then they were attacked. So they claimed 150 people were killed. We don't know. Maybe not up to that. So you can say that from Ojukwu, we had Mason. From there to Biafran Zionist movement. Then IPOP, we had Kanu. When Kanu was no longer out, we have Èkpá. It gives us the impression that if you arrest Simon Èkpá today, another woman has been appointed.
I saw a picture
So
this morning.
it means that, look, there is a problem on our hands. We just need to be very honest. It's good to be politically correct. There is a major problem of the national question. My only disagreement is that no violence. But it is time for us to sit down and talk about the future of this country. It's like each time you arrest someone comes out again. And that people should not adopt violence. In the UK, people are agitating for self-determination, but they are not going violent. The Irish Republican Army used to do that, but now they have considered to negotiate. And their party recently made a lot of roadmap. So this even in Quebec, in Canada, the Quebec French-speaking, they have produced more prime ministers. But they are still saying they don't want to be part of Canada. They organized a referendum. So this idea of saying that Nigeria is indissoluble and all that, I think it's rubbish. It is rubbish. We need to sit down and say, look, gentlemen, let us talk, but no violence. We don't want to fight war. Let us talk with our brothers and sisters. What are the things that we want? What are the things we can do? And I think I can see progress being made. The government is talking about state police. So we need to do things that at least will make people to put down their guns so that we are brothers, we are Africans. So that we can sit down together and have a country that is based on our own wish. That we can agree on the conditions that we want to live together.
All right, Mayor, would you like to react to that?
We discussed this issue some time ago on this, and I said the marriage between the nationalities within Nigeria is a Catholic marriage. There's no divorce there. We have passed the stage of divorce. It's a Catholic marriage. What we should do is to look at how we can be fair to all the nationalities within the Nigerian space. And I remember that the last time I said, for example, the Southeast has less states than the other geopolitical zone. So it's only fair for us to create a state in the Southeast. While others have most states, most regions have 6, apart from Northern Asabon, they have 5.
Yes.
There are 5 states. That's not fair. If we want to be sincere to ourselves, we should be able to create another state for them. We look at other injustices or perceived injustice and try to sit down and see how we can solve that problem. But Nigeria is too together for us to go our separate ways. It's not possible.
So let's be real. Is it
happen.
perceived injustice or there is actually injustice?
No, there are injustices. Everybody, because yes, every geopolitical zone can come with their own. You understand? But that is why we did all those national conference and all those things. So let us go back to the last national conference. The suggestions that were made in those national conference, let us try to execute those beautiful suggestions, because different ethnic nationalities came together under that conference and came up with their own grievances. And we can now see how we can ameliorate those grievances. But to say that in solving the national question, we will allow people to go, how are we going to solve that problem? Because, for example, if the Igbo ethnic nationality wants to go, what will happen to the Yoruba ethnic nationality? What will happen to the Kanuri? What will happen to the Fulanis? You understand? You will just realize that we have a country that will become another Yugoslavia that will just be divided into several. We can't do that. We can't do that. Even the world will not allow us to divide and all that, because we have the population that nobody can take care of us. So we must learn to live together. Our marriage is a Catholic marriage. Nobody's going anywhere.
Yes, so make a quick talk about this Simon Èkpá matter. I'm talking live from Finland. Yeah, see, I don't understand why some people just take up matter. I don't know whether not just for content, like content creation or just for that kind of reason. Like I tell you earlier, anything that happen about Simon Èkpá, when I confirm first from Finland, when I confirm from the people with the Finland. See, I'm not a Biafran or anything like that. So no, I'm from Èkpá. We are just a people of our own. Of course, we still believe in Nigeria. But I don't like, like fake news, that kind of thing. I don't like, I don't like lie, that kind of thing. This country is one of the least corrupt countries. Very honest people. So I like drop things the way the thing did. So I just hear all over, Sahara News and most tabloids within Nigeria. They say someone, the guy has been arrested, he's incarcerated, he's in one of the toughest prison for the world. Come on now. Come on, my people. Come on. And the funny thing is, if you Google, and if you doubt me, Google, you will check the people they report those matters now. Only Nigerian tabloids. Nigerian tabloids. Not even one foreign tabloid. Not to talk of Finnish tabloid like newspaper from Finland, online and otherwise. Now only Nigeria. So I don't know if there's some kind of politics that they play, or I'm left to understand. But the fact remains that the latest news where they gone for Finland, where we know we within Finland, be the last protest will happen for Lahti, a town about an hour away from Helsinki, and they were protesting, in support of Simon Èkpá. They were telling the government to release him, that is not guilty, that is simply fighting for the right of his people. Of course, for now, the guy in prison has been incarcerated, pending when, by the court, because the court has to give the injunction, pending when he will be brought to justice. And that justice means that at this point where the guy did so, there is no assurance in the sense that it's just probability that the guy do incite violence for Nigeria. Understand? So there is no, he has not been found guilty. Make I put it like that. It's allegedly that on probability, nothing has been founded yet. Until they carry the matter, go court. And they have to prove evidence. There has to be evidence. And the evidence that they charge against them now, the matter will be happening like since 2022. Not be like the recent one. Now, what will happen since 2022? When they can't raise the matter up against them. After they don't arrest and release, and then they come raise the matter. The way I said, I say Nigeria get hands somehow inside the matter, foreign, because now all these foreign police, like, Interpol, where they run things within Europe. Then I see there's some kind of backup, either from France or something. I can't really say, but there's a foreign hand inside the whole matter. But I just wonder how far the thing goes, because they need evidence. Of course, Simon Èkpá they will sit down together, talk the matter, and they have to give reasons, like why they think it's so. And then this money laundering thing where they even charge against them, against them. It's not on him. Now, on the other 4 guys where they full arrest. For him, they say he has they are charging for incite of violence for Nigeria. But there must be evidence. For you to talk about something, I mean, say you commanded some people for Nigeria, say you go and do this. So it has to be founded, it has to be based on reason. In Finland, everything is based on reason. So all the while they say the guy's incarcerated, and they say the guy's asset has been frozen, account and all those things. There's no such thing. No such thing on any Finnish tabloid. I don't know where they gather their own matter, maybe somewhere for but maybe not just for content creation. Okay, or just to sell. Because there's no such thing on any Finnish journal. There's no such thing. Frozen assets, there's no such thing. Incarcerated. You see, in Finland, the prison here not be where they punish people. This is not America. Finland, their prison system now, where they bring you in to reform you, to be a better person. It means they will pamper you. In short, the place where they even put you, you get your TV, you get your bed, they give you better food. In fact, they even pay you on top. And if you act well, maybe they give you 3 years, then you act well for that 1 year. They will allow you to go out, go to do your thing, then come back. Then they will just watch you. So Finland, the prison system is not meant to punish, not like in Nigeria where they won't punish you. There is to reform you, to make you a better person, to make you reason why what you do not the correct, why you need to change. That's Finland for you. You know, so I don't know where all the fake news they fly all over, you know, Nigeria journals. If you doubt me, just Google them out. You see some of the papers where they come out all concerning the guys freezing outside and everything. And the prison where they even saying one of the toughest prisons. See, we don't have such. I don't know what they mean by toughest. It's just a normal prison where they will just carry you put temporarily, pending when they'll carry you go court. Now, like just like every basic prison, like for everybody. Of course, they get high security prison. Now, people where, you know, incessantly, that is, repeatedly commit crime, and not be any kind of crime, heinous crime, where get to do with people's life and all those kind of things. Like they bring you in, then you continue, and they feel say you know, you're of danger to people, the person where they close to you, next to you. Now they don't carry you put them, but still, they will make sure say they respect your human rights. You know, they respect that human dignity. I beg, I remember my brother,